Well, welcome back to the next episode. On the last episode, we went through all the parts that are involved in building an electric classic Mini with a Felton kit. And on the episodes to come, we're actually going to assemble that kit. But before we do that, we need to get this thing painted. And it's in a pretty tired state. Now, we're going to push it from here into the Felton prep area, because we're going to get the guys at Felton to do the repaint, which would be Mario and Dan, because I'm going on holiday.
So am I.
So am I. So we're going to both go away on holiday and hopefully come back with a freshly painted Mini. And then we can get the kit built and get it into the actual car. So, let's go. Right, so we'll stop it here before we go inside whilst we're out in the light where we can see. So the whole inside the car has been stripped down. Obviously some of the wire and harness and stuff in here, it's as far as we want it to go. The guys have welded up some holes underneath to get rid of its rust. Ground that down, rust treated that, as it's a Mini.
Whoa, not all the holes were rust. This car did have a roll cage in it.
It did, and the DVLA don't like bolt-in roll cages, so we decided to remove that and get rid of every sign that was there so they don't get annoyed when it gets registered as electric. So the inside of the car is going to go black. So we're going to do the whole inside gloss black, including the door shuts, in the boot and everything. And then we're going to do the outside in a lovely new colour. If we ever want to wrap it a different colour, the door shuts are black. So we haven't got to think about respraying the inside of the car because I'm being a bit lazy that way.
Yeah.
We both get bored pretty easy with colours.
Yeah. Give it a year, it will be changed again.
Exactly. Rust-wise, the car's not in bad nick now. There's bits around here, but we'll get them all cleaned out and done. A load of the paint's actually lifting, so a load of parts just have to go back to bare, which is a bit frustrating. But overall, for the Mini, this is actually in surprisingly good shape for the UK. In some other places around the world, this thing would be immaculate, but the UK, rust seems to be a pastime in these.
Well, the trouble with the Mini was they never painted between the seams. So all these welded seams here, the car was painted after the seams were welded. So they're seam welded and there's no paint in that joint, so the water sits in them and rots them out. That's where the Mini suffers.
I don't think it's just there, I think it just rests everywhere.
If you go round and look at where the boot lid hinges were attached to the back of this car, there is no paint there.
Oh.
The boot hinges were fitted before this car was painted. So
high quality Rover products. I wonder why they're not in business anymore.
Well, I don't think the Mini was that bad. It was a success. But they definitely cut corners when they were built.
Stop talking crap, let's get going.
Let's get it in. Oh, it's a tight squeeze.
It's a Mini, it goes anywhere. You ain't gonna fit through there, come on.
Definitely not.
Right, this place isn't perfect because it's actually designed for powder coating, but for a week or two it can turn into a wet paint shop, I think. Yeah. Right, let's leave it to the guys to get prepping and jump over to loads and loads of B-roll of them doing all the hard work. Before we head off on holiday, we thought we'd show you the paint. Now check this out.
Cabbages.
It's like a bogey green colour. Now who can guess what car was painted that colour? It's quite a famous show in the UK. Now, we've bought all this from a company called Buzzweld and they did not pay for advertising, but they are a great local company that do some really good, cool products, don't they, Nick?
They do. I'm going to start with this one because I've used this in the past plenty of other times. It looks like an ordinary rattle can, but it's not. In the bottom you've got a pin, you pull, you twist, it releases the hardener, and this is actually, it is a rattle can, but it's 2K high solid. So you get a great finish with these cans, and currently it's only Buzzwell we've managed to order this from, and they do colour match paint as well.
It actually dries, so it doesn't stay soft.
It does dry, yes.
So it doesn't go all funny when you put a bit of petrol on it.
No, it doesn't react to fuel. It's a great paint.
Obviously, it's not really our issue anymore with the EV, but you know, we do like fuel cars as well. They've also supplied everything else here, so we've got our thinners, but we've got this as well. So this is a 2K epoxy, but they've given us a tint. So it's actually tinted the same colour as the paint. So if you ever get a stone chip, you won't necessarily tell it's there.
Well, it's same but not. He did say he put a little dash of black in it, so putting the top coat on wasn't going to be too difficult.
I thought it would have been quite comical. We'd come back to this car nearly fully painted with just this patch mission down the side, which was still primer. But right, we've gone for this now, so we're actually now going to head off. I'll leave it to the rest of the guys to get on with it.
I'm back from my holiday and thought I'd come and check in on the progress of the Mini. I've been gone a week and it seems that Mario's had his work cut out with sanding and prepping this car. So obviously the car had a coating of some grey paint from before, from when it was wrapped, to give it a smooth surface. Trouble was the car wasn't keyed properly, so most of that paint has started to flake as he sanded, so most of it, he's pretty much had to sand it all off. So I'm going to help and I'm going to do my little bit, look. There we go, that's my input to the car. So hopefully, I've been told by the end of the week we should be able to get some primer on this. And I have begged Mario to let me have a go at laying some primer down myself. I've used rattle cans before, it can't be that much harder, right? So at the end of the week, we're coming here, we'll try and drop some primer on the car and see how the prep work's gone. Ready for inspection? Here we go. On goes the glove. Right, so here we have our 2K epoxy primer and our tint to go in the primer. So I am going to add the tint to the primer. Look at that. It's like a tin of sprouts. Let's go. I'll give it a little stir first. Make sure it's all mixed up with my very long screwdriver. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Oh, look at the height on that pour. That's some skill there. That'll do it. It's only to tint it, so if we get any stone chips, then we won't have a white base. It might not really notice it. This is how we do it. It's like mixing a cocktail. The primer is now tinted. So now Mario's got to mix this up. It's a 4:1 with the hardener and a 5 to 10% dilution with thinners to run it through the spray gun. So I'm going to get out of his way and I'm going to let him get this on the car and we'll see what the finished result is. Now it's time for Mario to work his magic and lay that primer on the car. So to keep wanderers out, that will definitely stop them. As you can see behind me, the car is now in its primer. The primer is cured and the car now has to be moved to clear room in this workshop. We're going to move the car now and then I'm going to have a go at laying down the black paint on the inside and under the bonnet of the car. The car has been moved and masked up. Only the outside though, because I want to paint the inside. So what I'm going to do is get some Scotch pad, just roughly go over the primer that's gone onto the inside to make sure there's no high points or dusty spots. We'll wipe it over then with some panel wipe and then we'll get to it with a 2K black in the rattle cans that I told you all about earlier on. So I'm just rubbing off any loose primer that's attached by any overspray from the gun. Obviously these parts were intentionally primered, but as you get further around the vehicle, you get overspray from other parts of the car that land back here. Some of it might not have stuck very well, and we do not want to be painting on a dusty surface. Now I'm going to blow off any leftover dust I could not get with a vacuum. Alrighty then, so the prep is done, I've wiped it down, blown all the dust off. Now it's time to start laying the black paint. I'm going to switch on the extractor, put my mask on, and then we'll go to town with it. Yep. Okay, so the first coat of the black paint is now on the car. It is going to need a second coat, but I need to let this cure off fully really before I lay that down. So we're going to leave it for a bit now, and you guys don't need to see a second coat going on. You got the idea, right? You spray it, it goes black. The Mini is back outside again. the black paint on the inside has been completed, and it's now going to go back in for Mario to sand off the primer and then apply the top coat. And look who's decided to join us.
I'm back and I'm ready. I'm not going to do any work though, because this guy is doing everything for me. So black paint's on, as you just said, and it's in primer, but the primer is the same colour as the actually paint we're applying on top with a tint, as you pointed out earlier, so we don't end up with a stripe down the side that's been missed.
We don't want to miss a stripe, do we?
We don't. So everything's black.
It looks good.
It does look good. I mean, I can tell you painted it and not Mario.
Well, we're on a deadline.
Okay. Well, hopefully Mario's going to do the outside of it, so the paint is pretty much perfect. And hopefully now you've seen this colour on the whole car, you'll start working out exactly the style we're going for.
That's right.
Right, let's push it into Mario then and let him crack on. As you see, the Mini has been painted back from Mario, and you've been really busy spraying horrible black stuff underneath it.
I've been undersealing the car. We have footage of that. I had spots all over my face. I wore a hood so it didn't get in my hair, and I wore a Teletubby suit.
Oh, you look great.
The last time I've done it, I was absolutely covered, so I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm proud of it.
And the plan is now to uncover it and obviously start doing the full rebuild.
Yeah, do the full rebuild. We won't make you do that because we know you won't.
These hands are too office.
You won't do it properly anyway. So me and Gary will reassemble the car.
Yeah.
So ready to receive the kit.
Sweet, let's get it uncovered then.
Be gentle.
It's like Christmas.
Oh, look at the colour of that.
It's like a giant bogey.
It's lovely.
It is like a giant bogey.
I like it.
You like it?
Won't get missed, will it?
It will not get missed. It will not get missed.
I even masked up the ramp legs.
You even masked at the ramp legs?
I did, you'll be proud. I learned from my previous mistakes, I told you.
What, like the giant dirty patch on the floor where you guys sprayed the other day and just destroyed the floor?
That wasn't me. Behind me is a great big cage full of parts that need to go back into this car. But we're going to start with just a handful here. So we're going to start with putting in the steering rack and the column, the pedal box and the brake master cylinder. This car doesn't need the clutch anymore, so that's not going back in. The handbrake, the wiper motor, the wiper mechanism, a little plate that just blocks left-hand drive control holes, and the door shut clicky things. So that's going to be what we're going to start with today, and then we'll work through the rest of it as we go on. Need a hammer?
Nice and tight. Great success.
Down. Oh, it's not going in here.
Oh, do you want me to do it?
I said that. You were like, no.
No.
You do it, Teddy. Okay, now we have had our delivery we have been waiting for. We wanted some new shiny bits for the car, but there was also other bits we needed to replace to get it back together to a good state. In my box, I have some shiny stainless steel headlight bezel things, some other shiny headlight surrounds, boot hinges, the badge that we needed, nice new shiny badge look. That's nice, that's the one that's on Mr. Bean's car. Shiny door mirrors, because it had some nasty old black plastic ones. There is a fitting kit to fit those as well, because they don't fit directly to the door, so we've got an extra bit that goes on there. But more importantly, there is in here all the windscreen, the rear windscreen seals, some seals for the doors, because they looked a bit rubbish, and taking them out, you break bits like this chrome strip here. And in this here is all the chrome surrounds for the grille. So we're going to get on and fit this, along with right at the very end so we don't dirty it. In this blue bag here is a nice new carpet set for the car, because the old one was the factory one and it didn't fit very well. So we'll get on and get all this fitted.
You've been busy.
I haven't been busy on my own. Gary has been helping.
Gary has been helping you. Okay.
Yeah, the car's together mostly. Obviously the doors aren't on yet, but it's quite difficult to get the doors on whilst it's on the ramp. So they can be fitted, but we didn't want to damage them.
And then here we have all the bits ready to go to fit into this car to make it electric.
Yeah, there's a big hole still in the car.
Well, you're filling it at the moment.
I am filling it.
I don't think you'd go very fast though, would you?
No, I'm probably like 0.1 of a horsepower probably.
You might get like a 20 second 0 to 60.
I don't think I'd ever reach 60.
Anyway, thank you for watching this episode. On the next episode, we're actually going to get this full kit fitted to the car. Well, we say we, the royal we. Gary and Nick are going to get this whole kit fitted to the car. If you like what you've seen, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you soon.